let's not show our red flags here.
I know.
Goal was to make me feel good about myself. And I think you are a sort of a sadist who wants to see me cry. Something that helps me is crying. I am someone who cries for any kind of emotion. Very necessary to swiftly move on from a lot of things. It's a part of healing process.
Hello, YouTube. Welcome to another episode of Kisse with Kasturi, where we keep it casual and overshare for free. Today's guest is someone who has been with me through every academic meltdown, middle of the night deadline panic, and conversations that got a little too deep. From late night study sessions to group projects that low-key saved our GPA, she has been there in it all. She's one of the smartest, most driven and ambitious women I know, and the kind of friend that's going to push you to be the best version of yourself. Please welcome the smartest chaos queen I know, Mrinali. And I'm going to pass it over to her to introduce herself and to introduce the topic.
Welcome to the podcast, Mrinali. I hope you're excited to be here.
Hello. You can see it in my hello.
That is actually the most cheerful hello that I've had.
I am a cheerful person. You should know that about me by now.
You are, honestly. So, Mrinali, tell our viewers a little about yourself. And like every episode, please put in a weird fact.
So, hello people. This is Mrinali. I am a PhD scholar, and that's the saddest part about my life, that I'm a PhD student. But it's fine. Like, that is what I always wanted to do. What else? So far, I have been spending most of my time in the lab, and whatever remaining time I have, I either go out for a coffee, or I either go out for food, or I'm just in my bed lying. So this is what I do. I have been in Delhi for past 2 years, and it's almost 2 years that it's 2 years that I've been here. So far, Mumbai rocks. Nothing beats the love that I have for Mumbai. But yeah, Delhi has made its place in my heart with the very few people that I've gotten here. Honestly, I'll be 26 soon. So by the time when this is being shot, I'll be 26 soon in a few days. So I just wish to create a lot of memories, create happiness, and make everyone around me, which includes myself also, if I can do something to be a little bit joyful about and add cheers to people's life, I think that is what I like. And coming to the weird fact, it's not actually a weird fact, it's a talent that I have. And the talent is I can touch my tongue to my nose. So
Oh.
so it's a talent, and I am better at it than Ananya Pandey. So
I was just thinking about her when you did that.
I think I hope this was weird enough for your podcast.
Yeah. That was actually very funny also. Okay, Mrinali, so what are we going to talk about today in this podcast?
So we are going to talk about something that I have like personally been going through for past couple of months, for whatever reasons, whatever personal reasons. It's about healing. So the topic is, we didn't heal, but we just got hot and distracted. So it's something that I personally have been pursuing for past few months. I'm not saying that I have healed, but I think I am happier. So
That's so nice.
topic about.
Yeah, I do have a lot of questions around whether like not just you, but like in general, do you think we can reach healing? But we'll get to those questions.
Yeah.
Before that, I am so excited about this part because Mrinali has some really cool stuff regarding the beverage and the thing in which she'll be drinking from. So yeah, let's get to that. This is my favorite part.
Okay. So, as I mentioned in my intro, I am a PhD student. So, in my day-to-day life, there is this one thing without which we cannot really function. And that's a plasticware, which we call it as a falcon. It's basically a centrifuge tube, but for the normal layman term, it's called as a falcon. So, this is what it is, if you guys can see.
Yes.
So I'll be having my drink in this. It's perfectly sterile right now because it has been opened from a fresh pack. So there are no bacteria, there is no virus, or there is nothing in it. It's fresh, which I'll be opening in front of everyone. And I'll be having the non-alcoholic version of Cosmo because, again, since we are talking about healing and something that has somewhere kept me going is a Cosmo. So I'll be having a non-alcoholic version of Cosmo.
Nice.
It's session today. So I'll be pouring it and showing it.
Okay. So excited.
Influencer stuff that I've learned.
This is like the coolest, what do you call, like the utensil thing. I don't want to say it utensil. Like
Yeah.
cup, mug, whatever. This is so cool.
Cheers to everyone who's watching this, and cheers to Kasturi.
Wait, yes, I will cheers. I'll show you my drink and then we'll cheers. Hold on.
Yes.
I actually
What
have
are you having?
Yeah, I am having. It is so opposite to my personality. I'm having a smoothie, which is kind of ridiculous. Yes, and it
Yeah,
has
but you
no.
have a goal, right?
That was a big flop.
Okay, it's very nice that you have a goal, Kasturi. It's actually very nice. You might not be able to follow it, but it's good to have goals.
Oh my god, the amount of teasing I've gotten because I've not followed that goal, but I've just been so vocal about it on Instagram. Yes, I'm doing 75 hard, and then I did 8 days, and I was done. I can't. Do it.
It's fine. It's fine. It's a part of it.
I know.
Just do whatever you can. But it's good to have a goal.
Yeah.
Also, you're looking very pretty. Forgot to tell you that.
Thank you. It's so sweet. Very sweet. Now you're very sweet. I'll call you more on my
Yeah, that
podcast.
Yes. Okay. The whole session, I'm going to try to butter you so that you can have more podcast sessions with me.
I'm having the smoothie that has blueberry, strawberry, and something called guarana, which I have no idea what it is, but it's this. And
Okay.
I'm so scared to have it.
Fancy stuff. Fancy stuff.
It is fancy, but I'm so
Blueberry.
scared to have it. Like, I don't know how it's gonna taste. My
It's okay. You just have to pretend that it's nice.
I know my goal was to like have something that's a little different and not same Coke and all that. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, smoothie is something I haven't had, so let's do that. And now I can't open it. I
Sure.
opened it, so cheers. So Mrinali, we'll just start off with the main question of this topic, which is how do you distinguish like healing and just being distracted by certain things?
I don't think you can really distinguish.
Okay.
Like people try to compartmentalize healing by saying that, just because I don't think about someone or just because I don't think about the particular thing from which you're healing,
Mhm.
that means you've healed. I don't think so. I think distraction is a part of the healing process, and that is how you keep going. Like there will be healing does not really mean that you completely forget about the particular incident or you forget about the trauma that incident caused you. I think you just learn to get distracted in different
Yeah.
parts of your life.
Yeah.
That makes it easier to just learn to live with it, sort of. So I think distraction is a part of the healing process and not really segregated from it.
Yeah.
So if distraction is what is leading you to your healed self, I think maybe distraction it is.
Okay, so that's interesting. So, what is that one distraction that doesn't that doesn't last for too long, but that's like a very quick win. Like it helps you for immediate purpose, but it's not very long term.
For me, I don't know if you'll censor this, but for me, it is looking at hot men on Instagram. Not last very long. Yeah, does not last really long because it's on Instagram. Obviously, you don't
Yeah.
see them on daily life. And I'm sorry to say, but the kind of men that I have around here, not hot. Like they're good men, maybe,
Yeah.
but not hot. So
Yeah.
So for me, it was one part of the distraction was looking at hot men on Instagram, those gym addicts, their
Ooh.
hot body with tattoos and all of that. Momentary distraction,
Yeah.
not very helpful. But yeah, I think for me it was that. What
Okay.
about you?
So I have a very weird like distraction process is that if I'm going through a problem, I then focus on a bigger problem than that. So I'm like, okay, I am now distracted with something else. That is my distraction process. Like I need to focus on something else. That's it. Or I go completely like this podcast is like a big distraction. Like, oh, I am all creative. I'm gonna put my energy into something. That's my
Okay.
distraction process. But that's not really momentarily, but I guess focusing on something else more
Yeah.
is more momentary distraction.
So you jump from one trauma to another trauma.
Yeah. Very, very don't recommend it at all, but well,
Okay.
that's how 26 years have been spent. So yeah.
Yes. Whatever works. Whatever works.
Yeah. But what is the one thing that you bought that you thought would help you, but actually did nothing?
I think that would be clothes. So there was this one period where I think I spent a lot of money on retail shopping, thinking that it would help me heal.
Mm.
So yeah, it made me look good, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But did not really help emotionally. So yeah. But yeah, since I've lost a few inches and some amount of weight, I think the clothes did make me feel good about myself.
Yeah.
Because there were certain kind of clothes that I was a little insecure about wearing earlier, which I have started wearing of late. So it did help, but again, it was not really emotionally helpful. But yeah, it did help me feel a little better about myself. It is coming with the fact that I have started being secure about my body, secure about my different regions of my body and all of that. So
Yeah.
because it is coming with that, yes, but just retail therapy, no.
Okay.
So maybe momentary because you're excited to see new clothes and you want to wear them. That way, yes,
Yes.
but not emotionally.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, Mrinali has been doing very hardcore gymming. I see her and I'm like, okay, I haven't been to gym for 3 days. Now I also should go. So it's great that you are very consistent. Mrinali is very, very
Yeah,
consistent.
it's on and off, but yeah, pretty much. Like I try to at least go twice a week,
Yeah.
if not 5 times a week. That's the goal. Sometimes there are weeks where I don't even go, but
But
Yeah.
you are doing PhD, so that's understandable.
I think PhD is the reason of my downfall lately. But I think that would be another podcast.
I have that in mind. Okay, we're gonna talk about those things for season 2.
Yes. Yes, please do. I think that podcast will last forever. Like it will go on for days, not like hours. I think that will just go on and on and on. I think PhD is the reason for my downfall.
But is that not like, doesn't PhD help you get distracted with most of the things because you're so busy in your lab and with your work?
It gives me so much stress and tension that I don't have to look at any other stress and tension.
That is my defense. That's what I would be happy
So,
about.
Yeah. But the thing with PhD, again, as I said, we'll do this for a separate
Yeah.
podcast. But in a nutshell, it's basically, it's very draining
Yeah.
because you spend a lot of time in your lab and not always, or 99% of the times, you don't really get the results you are anticipating.
Yeah.
So it's the constant burnout. Like first you get emotionally burned out because you don't get the results.
Yeah.
And then still putting in the physical labor to get those results. So that emotional burnout turns into physical burnout, and it's a vicious cycle that goes on.
Yeah.
But it's a separate podcast topic, not today.
I'm so
I
excited
would
about
have
that.
you will see me crying on this podcast otherwise.
Oh my god. I'm gonna sound very mean, but I'm gonna be like, I'm so excited for that now.
But I need a separate session. You cannot club 2 of my sessions like that.
Your separate session, don't worry.
Yeah.
But do you think that your external glow up in like a continuous process or a long-term way helps you in your internal glow up as well, or internal healing as well?
Yes, I think it does. Because this external glow up, for someone who was insecure about her body to now someone who is not insecure about, not at all. Like initially, it was a process, and I think that process started in VIT itself.
Yeah.
I met a few people who were from the BTech background, and
Okay.
they were my hostel mates. So they were very confident about their body despite having different body sizes, and
Yeah.
in terms of like the breasts, the thighs, the arms, and all of that. So it was because of them that process started. Like hats off to them. Like I really love them a lot for that. But I think the external glow up starts making you feel slowly, but you start liking yourself better than what you used to.
Yeah.
So the external glow ups aid in your healing process, not directly, but because you start emotionally being secure about yourself, and
Yeah.
that's how the healing process. So it's not just a direct link just because I've gotten hotter, or just because I have gotten slimmer, or because I have my skin has gotten better.
Yeah.
That does not really directly mean that you're healing,
Mm.
but it aids indirectly because you start feeling better about yourself.
Yeah. So
So-
do you think that changes with kind of age? Because right now we are in our late 20s and it's easier to sort of accept ourselves.
Please don't say late 20s. Please
Fine.
don't. You will see me
20s.
crying here only.
My
Do you
God.
want to see me cry?
I am so excited to say I'm in my 30s and you're like, don't say late 20s.
Please don't say late 20s, yeah, please. I am still 25 for next 4 days.
Okay, but
I am-
in mid 20s. Oh my god. Okay, fine. Okay. Before you're gonna hit late 20s in 4 days. Do you think that somehow this healing or accepting yourself comes with age? Like if you were a teenager and you're going through same issues of insecurity, your body image or whatever, but it's just easier right now to accept it and work on it.
I think yes. But it also depends, because it depends upon the kind of people you surround yourself
Yeah, I agree.
with. During your teenage period, you meet a lot of people who themselves are insecure, a little messed up in their heads, like
Yeah.
most of teenagers are.
Yeah.
So when you are amongst them, I believe in the concept of energy. So if their energy is also like that, you tend to get influenced by that energy.
Yeah.
But when you meet people in your say late 20s, or
Yeah.
maybe in 20s,
In
let's just say in 20s, you do meet a certain section of people who have accepted themselves, who have more struggles than what you go through,
Yeah.
or if you try to know them in person, like
Yeah.
to the depths of them. So you tend to meet those people. So it kind of helps that, someone else can relate to you or you can relate to someone. So
Yeah.
it normalizes the issues that you have with yourself, with your own inner self. So I think, yes, because you meet certain section of people who have also accepted themselves, but does not mean that there are not no people who have their own issues or who have their own traumas. So it's like, I believe in passing on the pattern. Like if someone has helped me heal, then
Yeah.
I would help someone else heal.
Okay.
So it's
That's
about that.
so nice. That's such a
Yeah.
positive thing to say.
Yeah. So that's what I believe in. I think that's what I practice also.
What is that one thing, like we talked about healing and being distracted, but what do you think that is that one thing that you say to yourself you're over, but you're not? And this could be friendship, anything. Like, what is the one thing that you say that, okay, I'm over this process, but you're not? Like, deep down, you know you're not. It's okay if you don't want to go to personal, but just surface level.
Yeah. No, I don't mind going personal. I'm pretty much very open about my struggles and my traumas that I face, especially around people that I really care about or who I know care about me. So I'm not really a person who hides
Yeah.
struggles and traumas. I feel everyone should talk about them.
Yeah.
As I said, because we are at a certain age where we can break the generational trauma of not speaking about your trauma.
Yes.
It's very important that we talk about our struggles. Maybe not to everyone, but maybe to the people who care about you, because it's necessary to normalize that all of us struggle with our own issues.
Yeah.
So it just becomes easier for someone else and yourself to heal through it.
Yeah.
As a teenager, I had this patch in my school life
Mhm.
where so I was always the popular kid in school. I was good at studies, I was good at sports, I was had a lot of friends.
Yeah.
I used to talk to everyone, which I still do, but I used to talk to everyone, say hi, hello to everyone. I have always, because of my father, I have been brought up like that. So I was the popular kid, and because of certain teenage issues, the messed up brains that we have,
Yeah.
I lost a lot of friends, like people who I considered friends. Let's not call them friends,
Yeah.
but I never had the guts or the strength in me to go and face them and ask them ki what exactly was that I did that they didn't like, or
Yeah.
what is it that that ruined the friendship. There were a lot of things that happened. So I kind of learned to live with it, but I don't think I've gotten over the fact that because maybe misunderstanding or because of what I did or what they did,
Hmm.
I kind of lost what I thought was mine,
Yeah.
something that I could cherish for my life.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm still over it, because I am not in touch with any of my school friends.
Mhm.
Had I been over it, maybe I would have been more active, like how I'm active with my current set of friends.
Right.
So I think that is something I've not completely healed from, but I've learned to live with it.
Yeah.
Like, if you ask me if now I want to go and ask them what was it that happened, then no.
Yeah.
But maybe if I had faced it back then, I would have been able to get a closure to it.
Yeah.
But that's what closures are about, right? You not
Yeah.
necessarily always get an answer to your question,
Yeah.
but it's just accept what happened and move on.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so this kind of also shows that out of sight, out of mind doesn't always work.
Yeah.
See, it becomes easy, but I think it doesn't work all the time.
So, like on these lines, I would like to say that when I was in a relationship back in school,
Yeah.
The guy who I broke up with,
Yeah.
he was in my school from I think from 4th standard to 10th standard. We were in the same school.
Mhm.
11th, 12th, we were in the same college and we were in the same classes.
Mhm.
So I broke up with him at the start of 10th standard.
Okay.
But he was still right in front of me till my 12th standard. But I was able to get over it despite him being right in front of me all the time.
Uh-huh.
But when I am going through a similar process right now, even though the person I broke up with recently is
Yeah.
not in front of me all the time, but it's not completely like he's out of my mind.
Yes.
So it does not necessarily work like that. But it's about growing and learning to, again, deal with the situation.
Yeah.
You're not crying about it, right? कि
Yeah.
ये नहीं हो रहा है, वो नहीं हो रहा है, move on नहीं हो रहा है, trauma नहीं भूल पा रहे हो. It just learn to accept that this is what has happened and this is what you have to deal with.
Yeah. So, what is your most delusional, like delusional in general, but it's the most necessary form of self care, like for you?
It's a little funny, okay?
Okay.
So as whoever sees me on Instagram knows that I have this amazing friend Shreya on
Mhm.
campus. So it's kind of delusional, but a necessary form of my self care that I need to annoy the hell out of her life. It's a part of my routine. If I don't do it, I just get very sad at the end of the day. Yeah. So if I don't annoy her, so she is someone who does not like physical affection. She gets very, she's like Rashmi.
She's like, I was gonna say, she reminds me
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Rashmi.
she's like Rashmi. Yeah, she's like Rashmi. So she'll be like, and like this, which I just love getting in her space. I don't know if she's listening to it right now, but yeah, I just love it. It's a delusional form of self care, but it's just, I just love annoying the people I love.
I think this
So-
is really, it's such a great compliment to her. Because, like, you know, she's part of like your everyday of your self-care routine. That's amazing.
Yeah. No, but I have to give it to her. Like, somewhere right now, the fact that I'm healing from a lot of things,
Yeah.
she has a role to play in that, because she's seen me cry randomly when I used to cry in the lab or in my room. She's seen me through it. So it really means a lot to me that she's here during my healing process. So it's like she's worth mentioning right now.
course.
Like when I'm talking about healing, I don't think I can not mention her.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, your friends, people, I feel like they are definitely an important part.
And it's not just her, it's a lot of people actually.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
Rashmi,
Yeah.
Saket, Yash, Hannah to some extent.
Yeah.
These are people who are really important to me, who have been in their own way very important in my healing process. So
That's so sweet. I like that I was also part of it. Very happy about it.
yeah, you were, of course you were. I remember I giving you all the updates about whatever happened
Yeah.
and everything. So
I want to know that, you know, Mrinali is also very active on Instagram. For those of you who don't know, she does this monthly Mrinali thing that I get very excited about. I'm like, what all happened in the month? I want to see. But what is that one thing that you do as part of your healing or self-care process that doesn't go on Instagram?
I think crying, a lot of crying.
Mm-hmm.
So because obviously it's weird shooting yourself crying. I know people do it, and
People do
I actually I know people get a little weird about recording themselves when they're crying,
Mhm.
or when people put their videos about them crying. But I think it's a very nice thing to do.
Yeah.
You are normalizing and kind of spreading the message that it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
We record and shoot moments when we are happy, when we when big things happen in our life. Someone is getting married, someone has a degree,
Yeah.
whatever. We record good things in our lives. Then what is the harm in recording the sad things in your life?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying record someone while there's a death in the family.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that, but
Yeah.
if you're feeling something and you feel that it's you want to cry, and then you record it and then post it on social media, I think it requires a lot of courage to do that.
It does. Yeah.
So I know many people do it and they're shamed for doing it, but I think it's something that I personally like when people do it, because you kind of spread the message that it's okay to cry. I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
As I said, I believe that healing is not really an individual process. The kind of company you have, the kind of influence that you have
Yeah.
plays a role in that. You cannot have a pessimist around you when you are in the process of healing.
Yeah.
So you need someone who can, if not your support, at least not make it difficult for you.
Yeah.
So so I think for me, something that helps me is crying. I am someone who cries for any kind of emotion, whether I'm happy, whether I'm sad, whether I'm speaking about something that is very close to my heart. I get very teary-eyed. In fact, I am someone, if someone is telling me their sad story or some traumatic story, I am someone who will cry for them.
Yeah.
So what about you? What is it that you do? Because you are also someone who is very active on social media. So I don't get to ask this question to a lot of people, because in my life I don't really have a lot of people who are very active on, and I absolutely love people who are very active on social media for whatever they do, whether it's spamming people, or whether it is just posting your daily romanticizing life. I think I absolutely love people who are active on social media.
Yeah.
It's good to see that someone else is having a good life.
But you know that they only put the good parts of their life. They're not gonna put the.
It's okay. That is what I started with, right?
Yeah.
So I think it requires a lot of courage.
Yeah.
Post sad things of your life.
Yeah.
So it's very important that we appreciate people who do that.
Yeah.
And so what is it for you that helped you or helps you if you don't post about it?
I do
Yeah.
document a lot of my feelings. I don't journal every day, but I write a lot of things in this notebook that I have. So I guess that is something I don't think a lot of people knows about me as well. Like, I'm not a very frequent person like journaling, but I do it sometimes when I'm like really, really upset. So I need to write, and I write I love to write, but that is the one time where I don't have to think about grammar or spellings or anything. I just write what I'm feeling, and I think that is a part of my healing process that I don't post on social media, or a lot of people don't even know that I do that. So I think now if somebody watches it would know, but that's something I don't Instagram. I just don't do it. But yeah, but that really helps to write without thinking. It could be just completely incoherent thoughts, and I think that's just it's good to not think so much and just write whatever I'm feeling. I was gonna say for speaking of fights, but I was like, that is not healing at all. So let's not.
Let's not show our red flags here.
I know. I was like, no, we're keeping this positive. We're not saying
Yeah.
any of those toxic behavior of mine.
Yeah.
So, what is that boundary that you wish you had set sooner with people, but you're learning to set them now?
I think it is distancing from people.
Mhm.
People who, as I said, not necessarily everyone will support you or be your help, but at least don't add on to my misery.
Yeah.
I'm already struggling with something.
Hmm.
It's necessary for me that the people I have around me don't add on to those struggles.
Yeah.
So one of the reason of my breakup was that the relationship that you are in
Yeah.
shouldn't be your stress, should be your calm. Like that
Yeah,
person is supposed to be the person you go to
Yeah.
when you are under stress or when you're under a lot of tension based
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
So for whatever reason, that was not the case. So one of the reason why I broke up was that also.
Yes.
So I believe something that I wish that I would have learned earlier is distancing from such people.
Do you believe that, people kind of at the end of all this, do you think people really do heal, or they just sort of learn to manage things? Like they never truly heal from certain things, but they just learn to deal with it.
Yeah, I think it's that. I think it's the latter case.
Yeah.
You never really heal completely.
Yeah.
You just teach yourself to live with it.
Yeah.
Because healing only happens when you approach something head on, is something I believe.
Yeah.
Something like, for example, say you and me have a fight someday.
Yeah.
And I know that both of us are emotionally mature enough to, if we talk about it, we'll be able to sort it.
Yes.
But that's not the case every time. So that is healing.
Yeah.
You had an issue, you faced it head on,
Yeah.
you got a solution for it, whether
Yeah.
it was in terms of keeping the friendship or ending the friendship.
Yeah.
But there was a solution. So you heal when there is a solution. Not necessarily all the problems that you have in your life
Yeah.
will have solutions.
Yeah.
So I believe majority of the healing is about learning to deal with a particular situation that you have.
Even I think that you don't really
Yeah.
truly heal from
Yeah.
certain things, at least.
Yeah, because you don't forget about things. No.
Yeah.
We're not children anymore that just because some memory is very traumatizing, our brain is wired in a way to just shut it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Adults, all of us are adults.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to completely shut off a memory. How will you shut off a memory?
Yeah.
At some point, whatever is your trauma or stress right now
Hmm.
was a part of your happiness.
Yeah.
You cannot completely detach yourself from it, right?
Yeah. Very. It's kind of sad, but it's also like very normal, very human
Yeah.
thing.
Yes, and I think the earlier you embrace it, the earlier you
Yeah.
feel better about it.
Like, what's your advice for someone who's trying to heal, but they feel like everyone around them is healing faster than them, or they're stuck at their place? What is your life advice for them?
Again, I think your goal was to make me feel good about myself, and I think you are a sort of a sadist who wants to see me cry. Uh, yeah, but since I am entering my late 20s, so I can advise people who are younger to me,
Yeah.
and if they happen to see this video, please don't take PhD. Please don't take PhD. That's my advice.
Or imagine people who are applying and then you come and be like, don't take PhD.
No, yeah, but whatever. Jokes aside,
Mhm.
I think like all the other things in your life, whether it is success, whether it is getting a job, whether it is having kids, whether it is getting married, everything has and takes its own time, and so is your healing process. So
Yeah.
just because you feel that someone else is healing better, doesn't mean that you are going slow or it's not working out for you. Because healing is never like, "Ki chalo, I got up one morning and I've completely forgotten about it." Healing is always a
Yeah.
thing. Sometimes you might not even remember about it. Sometimes that will be just in your head the whole time.
Yeah.
So healing is never about suddenly waking up and you not feeling the same about the problem.
Yeah.
It's always the up and down of the emotions that happen. So just because you feel that someone is doing better, not necessarily it means that that person is doing better.
Yeah.
Because we live in a pretentious world, as we talked about it. Instagram and social media is about showing what is good in your life.
Yeah.
People don't really put the trauma or the sad things in their life on. They
Yeah.
want it for the other people to think कि हाँ मेरे जिंदगी में तो सब कुछ sorted है. That's not always the case. Just accept that you have a problem. Just be ready to face that you have a problem. धीरे धीरे solution आ जाएगा. And जब आना है तब आएगा. नहीं आना है नहीं आएगा. So it just accept your own process. Just accept the fact that this is your life.
Yeah.
Like your life. And move on with it. Like whatever and whichever aspect of your life is taking time, so be it. It's very weird coming from, and people who know me know how much I plan things.
I love
But
it.
sometimes it's necessary to just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Like it's okay to have an idea that this is what I want, but the journey to it might not necessarily always be of what you plan to or what you planned about yourself.
Yeah.
So sometimes going with the flow is what you need in your healing process.
Sometimes I also just I'm like, we'll see where we end up.
Yeah, just exist and see where it takes you.
Okay, so Mrinali, we're gonna play this very silly game.
Okay.
So basically, I'm gonna give you like a one-line situation or a scenario, and you have to say if it's truly a healing process or truly healing, or if it's just hot girl thing.
Okay.
Okay, let's start with cutting your hair at 2 a.m. to reclaim power, or getting a different haircut to reclaim power.
I think it's just a distraction, a hot girl thing.
I agree. Booking a solo trip after a breakup.
Healing.
Okay.
Definitely healing.
Yeah. I think solo trip at any point is so healing.
Yeah. At any point is healing.
Yeah. Doing 3 different types of breath work and never going to therapy. Like you're doing yoga or something, but you're never going to therapy.
I think it can be healing. It depends person to person, but it can be healing also.
Okay. Decluttering your whole apartment instead of answering one uncomfortable text.
Not healing. Distraction. Just not even a hot girl thing. What are you decluttering? It's so hot here. You just all the sweat and you'll just get dirty. Not even a hot girl thing. It's therapeutic, yes.
Yeah.
Like, but that decluttering is just a normal therapeutic process. So
Right.
not
Yeah, I
really
don't
healing.
think hot girls are decluttering things at this point.
Yeah. Hot girls are decluttering men.
That's such a good t-shirt line. Decluttering.
Yeah. Men.
Joining a book club but going only for the wine and the gossip.
Or maybe a hot book reader.
Oh, that is so nice. Men are always automatically attractive if they are reading or if they are being smart.
Reading and yeah, exactly. Imagine a nerdy guy with specs, tall and with a book in hand. My God,
I
healed. I've seen him healed.
haven't seen even one at this point.
No, they're only in the books.
Yeah, like randomly, I have never seen. Saying I'm protecting my peace when you actually just ghosted someone.
No, I'm not an advocate of ghosting. So
Yeah.
Maybe healing for some people,
Mhm.
and sometimes some shitheads do require ghosting.
Mhm.
But it's always you can say, hey, it's not working out. Bye.
Yeah.
Simple text that you can leave.
Yeah. Saying it's giving soft girl era, but you haven't eaten or cried in 2 days. I don't think that's healing at all. But go on.
Healing.
That's
Because you are
healing?
in your
My God.
normal era.
If I don't eat, but I think I'll die if I don't eat my meals properly. 2 days of not eating, I'm just gonna probably just die. Looking in the mirror and hyping yourself up while texting someone toxic.
Not healing, but it was healing for me, but not healing. Swiftly moving on.
Using astrology to justify all your personality flaws.
Not healing.
Do you do that?
No, I don't believe in astrology, but sometimes when things are just out of the place, maybe you try to read a little about your horoscope for that day.
Okay. And the last one is wearing affirmations like a fashion statement but not believing a single one.
It's not healing. I think affirmations come from within and not something that is external. So
Okay, you did pretty good. We moved on swiftly from few.
very necessary to swiftly move on from a lot of things. It's a part of healing process.
But I hope you enjoyed the podcast, Pranali. Is there any last thing you want to add for our viewers?
I think it's about going with the flow. Just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Like whatever you like, just do it as long as it's not hurting anybody else. You want to go to the gym, go to the gym. You want to have like 1,000 calories burger, just have it.
Please
You
have
want- Yeah, please have. You want to just distract yourself with work. If it is working for you,
Yeah.
do it. Whatever gives you happiness, whatever makes you live a little better than your yesterday, I think you
Mhm.
should do that.
Hope all of you enjoyed, got something out of that podcast. And if you did, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. And thank you,
Ding,
Mrinali.
ding.
Thank you for being here, Mrinali. I had a lot of fun. And everyone, for you watching, please comment down below what's your one healing process that you would recommend to everyone. And I will see you again in the next one. Bye.
Bye.